You're now listening to Off the Collar, powered by Backswing Golf Events.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Off the Collar. It's your host, Nick Johnson. A little bit of a struggle this week to get everything situated. Shelby has been under the weather for like 2 weeks, it feels like. So she's letting me do this by herself, which is very brave on her part. But we have a solid guest this week who is actually probably not too far from me. Savanah Moroles, thanks for joining us. How's it going? Are you surviving this heat that I am not surviving?
It's been good. Definitely hot as heck. I'm in a sweatshirt, so yeah, I don't know why I'm questioning
Yeah, I
that
don't
right
know.
now, but
How are you pulling that off right now?
cold as heck in my house. It said backswing. I was like, gotta represent, so threw it
That's
on.
fair. That's true. Actually, I did request a backswing hoodie a while ago, throwing Mackenzie
All
on
right.
blast. I don't know where it is. It's lost in the mail.
It's all right. We'll get it for you,
I
I
don't.
swear.
It's all good. I don't know if you guys have my sock. Well, maybe. But yeah, for the listeners out there, we're both in Austin, Texas. So we were thinking about doing this together live, but it's like you have to kind of adhere to the weather. It's freaking brutal out here. I think I saw something like a record amount of days in a row of 100 degrees or more. I think we're at like day 32 or something. Not that I'm keeping track, but yeah, I don't know how you guys do it out here. I am way too California for this. It's been, I mean, literally yesterday I was out at the golf course for like, let's see, I got up there 9ish and left around 2, just because I was getting delirious. Like I was almost like an out of body experience. I was there with my buddy that's in town who plays on the Canadian tour, so he does this on a daily basis. He's out there like all day, every day. I was just like, dude, it is so freaking hot. Um, yeah, I don't know how how you guys do it, but I had a thought. There's like a little patio outside where I live, like that we could have done it at,
Oh, that
but
sounds so nice.
we would have been sweating bullets the whole time. Like you reached
Well,
out to
yeah.
me yesterday, and I was like, we could do this right now, but I would have to like blast my AC, and I don't know. I'm 1 foot out the door, unfortunately, with Austin, Texas.
What? It's the California of Texas.
No, it's not.
Everyone always
I,
tells me that, and I'm like, okay, it is hot as heck out here. Like, I'm driving and things are bursting into flames beside me. I'm like, this is good. I love that I moved here. So,
I honestly, so I have, I don't know why I did this, but I have like 3 golf bags here with me, and they're for different, like I have my staff bag back here. I have a
okay.
vessel bag that is kind of just for maybe tournaments, probably more specifically. And then I have like a normal carry bag, like a poofer type bag.
All right.
And I transitioned into my vessel bag just because I hadn't used it for a while. And I was like, this thing's going to melt.
Yeah.
Like, it's full on leather. Like, this is probably the dumbest thing I could have done. And I have like
Yeah.
leather head covers with it. I don't know.
Um,
It'll be fine, I guess. But I'm constantly like, is my bag going to start melting? Like, or do I have to pay attention to this stuff, which I'd
Yep.
never have before? Um,
I'd
so
be
I don't
worried
know.
about your grips for sure. Don't
Yeah.
leave your bag
Well,
in the car. I did that. I was losing club heads in college, and I was like, this is really good. I left all my stuff in my bag and thought it'll be fine. My dad was joking whenever he said, don't leave your bag in the car. Yeah, things melt.
yeah, you'd be surprised, honestly. Like, so before this whole podcast, I was working for Cobra Puma Golf, and I was like very heavily involved with custom production, like building golf
Hmm.
clubs basically all day, every day. And we had a repair department, and you would be shocked basically once summer hits, how many repairs we start getting into our facility, because it doesn't really take very much heat
Mhm.
to take clubs apart. And I think I saw something where, say it's 100 degrees outside, your car is probably going to be around 140 degrees inside. So you have your clubs in the car, which I would probably guess 70%, like a lot of people do it. Even like putting them in your garage is not the best thing, because they will come apart. Like you'll
Yeah.
see, like the ferrules will start coming down is usually the first sign. But it's definitely like also I don't want my clubs getting stolen, so it's another thing. But
Yeah.
I've since college, I had a teammate actually in my like freshman year who got his club stolen. It was either 2 or 3 times in like a 3 month span.
Oh my
And
gosh.
he found all of them, which is the funniest thing. Um, we were in a
What?
small town, and we all had our names on our back, so it's like the
Yeah.
dumbest thing to steal. Um, but he found the first one at a pawn shop, like literally a mile away from the school,
Oh, that's just,
um,
they could have done
which is
better.
just which is just dumb. He also
Yeah.
had, I think, like a putter or maybe some wedges that were stamped with his name on them. So it's, I mean, how easily could you identify your own stuff? It's
I
just
love
like,
this.
here's my ID. That bag has my name on it. That club has my name on it.
Yeah.
Um,
What the
so ever
heck?
since then, I just started taking my clubs in the house because it's just
Yeah.
not worth it. It's like the worst feeling. Um, but anyway, yeah, I don't know. This has been a weird. I find myself rambling because it's been such a struggle bus. Like I am on 10-2 on that struggle bus this week. I
I
got
gotcha.
like no sleep last night. Um, we had an incident. So I have a pool that's, I'm on like the seventh floor of my apartment, and there's a pool
Yeah.
right down here. And at like 1:30 in the morning, these two girls were like jumping around the pool, playing music super loud. I was just like, are you kidding me right now? Like it's a Wednesday.
Oh
It's
my
a
gosh.
Wednesday night.
Yeah.
In what situation is that okay? Like that's pretty messed up. Um, and I was about to go on my balcony and start yelling at them, but there was
Oh
luckily
no.
I couldn't I couldn't really see, but I heard like a third voice at some point, and I think it was security.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't have my glasses on, but I saw like a white shirt, so maybe I don't know if we have security. It's probably something I should know. Um,
He probably was acting as security. I would do that personally. I'd be like, "Hey, I'm security. You gotta go. Like, I
just go,
need my sleep."
just go. It's not the worst idea. Just go down in
Yeah.
like a white shirt and like a
Yes.
clip-on tie, and then
Yeah.
like random shorts, and act like
That kind of sounds like a
act like
progressive guy. Like, you're gonna go ask them for insurance. Maybe a black shirt though. I think that would get
yeah,
them.
maybe a but if you had like
Yeah.
a little security badge somehow.
Yeah. Just
Um,
make one, like, sticky note it to you. They're already screaming. They probably have no idea. They're like, "Oh, he looks legit. I should go."
I don't get it. I don't I can't imagine they live in the building. Like the pool closes at 10,
Yeah.
which is like in my experience pretty darn like that's pretty late for a pool, I would
I
say.
mean,
Especially
you're in Austin. I wouldn't put it past if someone was
that
like, "Hey, I'm gonna go
yeah,
bathe in that."
yeah,
So,
that's
I hate
true.
to say it, but
But I was just it was going on for a while. Like I'm surprised it took that long because there's so many
yeah.
people. Like I can hear it here. I can't imagine how loud it was like right next to it. There's so many apartments right next to the pool. Um, so anyway, riding that struggle bus hard. That's why I have a huge cup of coffee today. But Savannah, let's get into your story a little bit. Um, you're from Sedona, Arizona, originally. Another hot place.
Yes.
Been with Backswing since like 2020, 2021. You're now the pro manager, which I think you're our first, like, you can give us a real in-depth look into how it is to
Oh,
help all these awesome women we have. The number's always changing. I feel like I'm just gonna say over 200 because
Yeah.
eventually it's just gonna be a crazy amount. But definitely want to hear about that. Let's go into your experience growing up in Arizona a little bit. Like, tell us how you got into golf. I know you played a little bit in college, so we can get into that. But let's start with like, what's your first golf memory as a kid? Like, how did you get into it?
Oh gosh. Yeah, so grew up in Sedona. I was born in Texas. We moved to Sedona for my parents. They're in real estate. So my dad was a huge golfer. He played in college. He's also a rock star, which also annoys me because it took me a while to beat him. But he used to take me out when I was really little, and once or twice a year, I'd go out to Seven Canyons actually in Sedona, hit some golf balls, kind of grew up out there. Not really playing golf though. So like I said, probably go out there maybe twice a year, I think I had Snoopy clubs.
Yes.
They were super cute. Loved them.
Snoopy clubs.
Oh yeah, I think I had
Someone
Snoopy. Someone had Minnie Mouse. I think my sister had Minnie Mouse ones or something. So,
someone's got to bring those back.
oh yeah.
What would be today's equivalent of Snoop, like Paw Patrol? I don't really pay
Oh
attention to
yeah,
much. I guess it would be, but how do you? Ah,
sure.
man, there
I'm
needs to
going with that
be
one.
something. Paw Patrol.
Yeah,
Okay,
because it has dogs. It's close enough. Snoopy,
close
same
enough.
thing. But yeah, so I don't know. That was kind of it for me. And then I actually didn't pick up golf until I was about 14, going into high school. My dad was like, you should play golf. I grew up riding horses, so that was my big thing. I was that horse girl in school.
Hmm.
Definitely a nerd. So like all my friends were always at the barn. I was too. So that was what I was doing, basically just being the horsey person. Then in high school, really got into golf. My dad was pushing me to do it, and kind of just came down to I want to go to college out of state. How am I going to get there? I'm not going to get a riding scholarship. That is hard to get.
Hmm.
And I tried cheerleading my freshman year. I am awkward as heck. That was not for me. So, tried that, gave it up pretty quick. And then, yeah, really jumped into golf. I was actually the only girl on my high school team. There was one or two others that they'd kind of come and go. But I was really the only girl. I played against all the boys. So even in tournaments, I played against the boys. There was no like girl section. Like that was just not a
Okay.
thing. So
Yeah.
my name was mixed in there. Really, my sophomore year, I hit the ground running. I was like, this is something I want to do. My parents are very good sports parents. So my sister played softball in college. She played for University of Massachusetts. So they knew like all the steps to take, how to get me on track and how to get me going and prepare me for college. I
Huh.
hated it. So it was a very like love-hate relationship. I apologize to everybody, like in front of everybody, to my dad for how bad I treated him at times because I was just like, this is horrible, but he was doing it for me for sure. And like everything he did, I'm like, I look back, I'm like, man, I love that man for doing it, like taking me to all my practices. He was also my high school golf coach with all those boys that I got to play with. So that was rough. Good stories from that, but
Interesting. So, I mean, you guys are spending a ton of time together, so I'm sure. I mean, just from my experience in college, like my teammate was also my roommate, so I would spend pretty much every waking moment with him.
yeah.
So I can understand that relationship, especially like, and my dad was my soccer coach, so I grew up playing soccer,
Yeah.
and as I progressively started playing more competitively, he got further and further away from the
Yeah.
sideline because they want you to do well, right? But
Yeah.
we're not given a blueprint on how each person's going to react to each different kind of teaching style. And I think my dad thought he was being maybe a touch overbearing. I don't know. Maybe he just wanted to let the coaches do their job.
Yeah.
And my dad played soccer in college, so he's got all this experience,
Oh yeah.
right? So it's like where do you step in, and you know you want your kid to enjoy the sport that you enjoy,
Mhm.
but where's the line between forcing it and allowing them to find their own way, right? So
Oh yeah.
um, I totally understand that. I want to go
Yeah.
back though onto your awkwardness.
Oh yeah. That is me.
So doing a little bit of a deep dive on your Instagram, it seems like there's a going trend on either, I think you even mentioned it yesterday, that you like spilled your drink like a handful of times on yourself already, which I've definitely done. Not throwing you under the bus, but I'm
Oh,
pretty sure at this point it's like a superpower for you.
oh, it
Um,
is.
like a couple of things that come to mind. You didn't like bring any stuff for like rain, even though rain was on the forecast. So you had to borrow like rain pants from one of your back co backslingers.
Oh, it
What
wasn't even a
else?
backswing person. I literally took them from a random man in I was in the Bronx, let me tell you that one too. That one just happened. This has happened multiple times, but yeah, I was in the
Okay.
Bronx, did not have rain pants. I didn't know it was gonna be cold. Like, I don't know, it's summer. And yeah, I had this random man's pants on.
Thank
Yeah.
goodness for that man. Did you have
Oh
to give him
yeah.
back?
I did. He was so sweet. He did not speak a lot of English. He was oh, was he Cuban? I was at this really big like Cuban event. It was awesome and best food ever. Let me just say that. Um,
No.
but everyone was so sweet and he was just like, "Hey, yeah, here you go. I just need them back after. Those are like what I wear to work too, like whatever he does." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, I can do that." And I was like I had like a shoestring, like tying them on because I weigh like nothing.
Right.
And he he liked to eat, you know, I respect that, but I was half his size and I was just like tying into them, dripping wet. I was like, this is good. So
I'm feeling like an MC Hammer type vibe, like
it
parachute pants and
was,
all.
yeah, they tied at the ankle and everything too. So
Oh my goodness.
definitely that was me.
I feel like
But
that's just the style though. Like
mhm,
I have probably two or three pairs of rain pants, and they're all just baggy. Like obviously I'm not the big, I'm maybe like 160 pounds sopping wet and 5'7" on a good day. So I'm not the
yeah.
biggest guy, but it's like, can someone just come out with a normal pair of pants that are just waterproof? Like why do I have to
Oh,
why do they have to be so big?
try
Like
being a girl.
there's no point. There's
You look
really no
like
I
yes. Sorry. I'm like,
No, I mean, I feel for you girls because you guys obviously have, especially in college, I think every team probably has their own supply of rain pants, right? And it's like there's nothing for you guys either. You guys are even tinier. So I remember my first pair of rain pants was actually hand delivered to me. This is a
oh,
random story. I was very ill prepared as well for a tournament. And it was actually nearby. My family's in San Diego, so it was maybe an hour outside of San Diego, and it had to be my mom because my dad would not do this on his own accord. They went to Golf Mart on their way up and bought me like full on rain gear, and I changed in. I think it was in our practice round, so it wasn't
yeah,
during the tournament. But I think I was literally mid round, and I'm already like drenched, and
yeah,
then I put this on top of it, and it just seals in all the heat too. So I might
yeah,
have to reach out to, I don't know, my buddies at Puma or PXG or
yeah.
Titleist is like there's an avenue here. I know it's only like a quarter percentage of the market that wears rain gear, but they all kind of suck.
Oh, for sure. It is like I don't what like in those movies, you know, everyone always puts on their like sweatsuits, they go and jog and they're just like sweating everything off. That is rain gear, like
Yeah.
100%. And now on top of that, like being a girl, you know, you want to look cute out there, especially in college. You want to look good. and that wind gets to blowing and you just look like a Michelin man. Like,
Yeah,
you're just blown up marshmallow person, and I'm just like, "This isn't cute, but at least I am kind of dry." So,
yeah. It's not,
yeah.
if you're trying to pick up a man, it's not a good look. It's a quick
No.
way to get out of a situation
Oh, yeah.
in case you need him. I
Right, just
think,
like, oh, man. That'd be can you imagine just, like, talking to someone, you're like, "Wow, this man's not for me." "One moment, sir," and you just, like, put on your rain gear. Right then, they're just done. They're gonna walk away. So
yes, I actually have a few thoughts on this. So, like anyone our age has probably been on dating apps for a period of time, or at least tested them out. So
I
I had
haven't.
this thought, because catfishing is definitely a thing. Although it's becoming more and more like accepted. I don't know why. I saw something where it's like, if they don't it was probably a bit of a joke, but if they don't catfish me, it's like they didn't put any effort in. Like, I want somebody to throw some, because they're presenting themselves like to whoever they're going to be showed to on Tinder, or if that's even a thing still. But I have a thought for this. I've never tried to get out of a situation with a man, but I have with a woman. So hopefully
Okay.
it'll probably coalesce. But the main thing is, they've never heard you speak, right? You're texting 99% of the time when you're meeting up with somebody for the first time over these dating apps or whatever.
Yes.
So if you can, you should develop a sort of accent. It's like an escape accent, and make sure it's one that's not appealing.
I
So
like
I
this
don't know
so
if I
far.
can, I don't know if I can do it on cue, but I definitely can't, because I'll be laughing way too much. But I can do an Asian accent with the best of them.
Oh god, oh no.
Half of my family is from Hong Kong or China,
Okay,
so I'm basically a pro. And I've yet to. I don't think I've pulled this one out. Have I done it before?
please do
I
it
don't think
now.
I've had the balls to do it to somebody yet, but it's definitely crossed my mind. And it could go the other way too. Is if you really like somebody, maybe it's going to come out eventually. I was going to say you could do like Australian or British, which are normally the ones that are like, you could be saying the dumbest thing in the world and have a British or Australian accent, and all of a sudden you're like so credible. I've
Oh,
met so many interesting people that have a British accent, and I'm like, I just want to listen to you all day long.
100%. Literally, I'm
But
just like,
that
"Just
is
talk to me."
that is definitely a way to get out of it. In
There you
my
go.
experience, Asian accents are usually not very well received. Indian accents are up there. Um, you know, I want to do one for you, but I don't think I can pull it off at this
Please do
moment.
it.
I have to be like 2 drinks in,
Oh, go drink. It's
and
all good. I can sit here.
no, maybe it'll come out later in this episode.
When we go play when we go play, I'm just gonna you won't even know it. I'm just gonna keep refilling your drink,
Yeah,
until you are
no,
just
that
talking in every accent possible, and I'm just gonna be sitting there recording it. So, just so you know, heads up, but
if
I
I
have to
wasn't
hear it.
on like 3 hours of sleep, maybe I could do it. Well, so here's an example. I have a date on Saturday, and I've never spoken to this person.
Alright.
Seems like there's a good vibe, but if she's a catfish, um, the problem with my theory though is like, you have to break it out right away. You
Mhm.
can't just go into it talking like I'm normally doing, and then like switch randomly throughout the conversation.
Yeah. You need to, like, ask her a question, like, kinda quietly, let her
Yeah.
talk, just kinda just keep nodding, let her go, and then just bust it out if you're like, "Yeah, no, she said the wrong thing, this isn't
Yeah.
it." Right then,
Or
you
maybe
could bust it
maybe I
out.
just maybe I just bring this notepad and be like, I'm kind of embarrassed by my voice, and just
Like,
write on. Man,
I
there's
went too
no
hard
part of
screaming at those girls in the pool, I have no voice left, so using a
There's
notepad,
no
you know.
there's no part of this that makes me feel good about myself though. So I might
It
have to
shouldn't.
refrain. It's definitely not making me feel good about myself. You're probably like, man, this guy is crazy. Um, no, but okay,
I have to
I'll
bring
break
this
one out.
up.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
wait, go. Oh, no,
No,
please.
go. Nope.
I was gonna say,
Nope.
I have to say this, like, it's the Jordan Spieth thing where the guys, they hatfish us now. So I'm just saying, you're wearing your hat. Gotta see, are you hatfishing the girls? Because Jordan was, I thought he was just like the most beautiful man ever. And then he took off his hat, and I was like, ooh, there's not as much hair there
Hat
as I thought, man.
hat fishing. I didn't know that was a
Hatfishing.
thing.
What?
Um,
Yes. So make sure on your profiles you have to have a couple on there without a hat on. Girls got to know, are you hatfishing?
but I like hats.
My husband does too, but he has a beautiful head of hair under there. So,
I
but
have good hair, so
there
we're
you
good.
go.
I'm not
See,
hat
you're set
fishing.
then.
I just had a haircut the other day.
Here you go.
I think
Yes.
working at Cobra for like 5 years are like this is basically what I would wear. Like
Yeah.
they don't really care about what you'd wear. Like even the backwards hat. Like maybe it's not the most professional thing in the world, but they really didn't care. So
Yeah.
and playing golf my entire life, my hat collection is pretty on point. Like I think let me see. In reach I have about 4 different hats. Um, it's
I
kind of like
believe
a
it.
safety blanket at this point. So,
Yeah.
and I also had somebody like say, "Oh, you look good with a backwards hat." Like this is when I was maybe like 17. So that has stuck with me to this day.
I
So,
love that.
but I don't think I've ever heard the hat fishing line. That's
Yes.
hmm,
It's a thing. My
okay.
husband, I remember like looking at his Instagram, and I knew he had good hair, but I was like, that was the first thing. Like, picked him up from the airport, first time we were like meeting in person, or it wasn't the first time we were meeting in person, but when we had started dating, we were doing long distance, and I was like, all right, bud, take it off. I'm sure he was like, what the heck? And I was like, the hat, take the hat off. So,
Yeah,
but
I
gotta
think
make
you should have
sure.
clarified that first.
Oh yeah, that goes with the awkwardness. It just all comes out at once. So, but no, that's make sure your pictures, you have to have a couple on there without a hat. Let the girls know, got a good head of hair. So,
Okay,
yeah, check right now.
I'm checking this right now.
Don't be a Jordan Spieth.
Um, that's brutal throwing him under the bus like that, though.
I love him to death, though. I'm here for him. I still love him to death. But yeah, there's a couple guys on tour. It's a thing.
I mean, we all have receding hairlines. I'm probably going to lose my hair at some point. Um,
Hey,
okay.
do this accent now,
First,
though. While you're looking, do the accent.
okay. Let's see. God, I hate feeling like a show pony. Thank you for coming to see me today. You look so beautiful with your hair like that. Okay, that's all you're getting.
Oh no.
um,
Oh god.
yeah, I can. Maybe I should start doing episodes with just that accent.
You
Um,
should.
where, where are you from? Where you come from? Your mother, your daughter, your son? Where they from? Dude, This is something that is. You're lucky that you have a partner already. But I'm at that weird range. I'm 31 going on 32 that I'm starting to date women that are like 37, 38, like
Okay.
which I've done before,
Yeah.
but now they all have like not all of them, but a lot of them have children. So I'm like, am I
Oh.
ready to be a stepfather? I don't anyway, I am seriously rambling on. So the good news is my first 2 pictures don't have a hat.
Can we see these
The
pictures?
no. Um
I tried for you ladies. I tried.
no. If you want to see them, you can swipe right.
I'm married. I can't do
The
that.
next 2, well, does a helmet count? A ski helmet?
No, that's a weird one. No.
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
anyone's
so.
been picked up in a ski helmet ever, so I think that one will slide. Um,
I question why
okay,
you have
so
it
I'm
on
I'm
there
not
then.
I'm not hat fishing as much as I would think.
There you go.
You know what has happened though recently, which is probably to my own fault, but everyone thinks I can dance, which okay, I'll show one picture because it's kind of funny. I don't know
Okay.
if you can even see that.
Oh, it's blurry. I can't, but there's
Okay.
purple lighting, so I'm a little nervous for that. Are you showing that you're a fun guy?
Yeah, a little bit. So it's actually it's me dancing with my mom, and we're like at a
Oh,
country-ish concert. You
oh,
can't see
now I
my
feel
mom's
bad.
face in the picture.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, it was what's the band called? That's gonna bother me. It was like a private show
Hmm.
actually in Arizona at Arizona Country Club,
Oh, heck yeah.
and oh, why can't I think of the name? That's gonna really annoy me. But it was a private show that they literally flew in from Stagecoach the night before. Um,
Nice.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. But now especially because we're in Austin, I've gotten so many messages that are like, "Oh, you can dance." I'm like, "No, I can look like I know what I'm doing." And
Yeah.
I've in college there was a place nearby. Any of my college friends would know this place. It's called the Branding Iron.
Hmm.
Is there a Branding Iron here? Probably not.
No, there is Mavericks. I think that's what it's called.
Okay. There's
Ooh,
one on South, like South Lamar that kind of
okay.
reminds me of it.
Hmm.
Um, that name, it's like Two Spurs or something. You know where the In-N-Out is? You even know that area? Either way.
Oh, I've probably so. I'm sure I've driven past it, been like, oh,
Yeah.
heck yeah, animal fries.
Either way.
But
So on like every Wednesday was college night, and um, I would go like if you got in before 10:30, I think it was free,
yeah.
or there was no cover. So they had line dancing for like the first hour and a half or two, and then it would be like hip hop, normal
Hmm.
kids type of dancing. So that's my full extent. I know how to do like the lion dances at that place. I learned very quickly though, if you go other places, the dances are completely different, even if it's the
So
exact same
different.
song.
Yes.
Yeah, that really it really sucked to learn that because I'd spent some good amount of hours at that place. Like, um, where was I? I was at Moonshine Beach in San Diego,
Okay.
and they were playing. You know, I was kind of watching, and they were playing some songs I didn't recognize, and then they played one I did recognize. I'm like, oh, I can get in on this.
No.
Jumped right in, and immediately knew this is not the same dance.
No. I've
And
done
I
that.
was like, well, that's the fun part of line dancing is you're kind of learning with, everyone else.
Yeah.
But I was probably the first one to jump out once that song came out, and then immediately like had to crawl, like kind of like that Homer meme where he's going like
Oh yeah.
into the bush.
Going back.
Like that's exactly how I felt. I was like, oh, yeah, jumped into this way too quickly.
That's me in
Um,
every social situation. I'm just like, I know what I'm doing. I could talk. I'm like, heck yeah. They say one thing that I'm just like, I don't know that topic. And I immediately am just like going backwards, like too much. Too many people around. This isn't it. I need to go back and find food and sit in a corner. So,
the find food
but
part is very key.
yeah, either finding
That
food.
is that's huge.
Yes, finding
Um,
food. I find a drink. I can somehow find a dog a lot of times. And I'm just like, I'm out of there. Back away slowly, sit in a corner. I'm so happy.
yeah,
But
that's a pro move.
oh, yeah.
Speaking of pro, let's go on to your pro management. Like
Yeah.
this is something that I don't think we've gone into a whole lot of depth on the podcast on like how the process kind of works for backswing.
Hmm.
Um, so there's over 200 women that are doing events nationwide. Are you
Yes.
managing all of those women? Is it a portion of it? It's
Um,
all of them.
I'm just nodding my head to all of it. I'm like, yes, that's all correct. Um, yeah, so it's really cool. We have at least closer to almost, I would say at least 230 women pro golfers that work for us across the country. Um, and of course, as y'all know, we go out there, we help raise money for different charities and foundations. I know last year we did, I want to say over 1,600 events or around that. This year we're looking at close to at least 23 to 2,500 events that we're going to be a part of. So it is amazing. Backswing is just continuing to grow. With that, yes, all of those girls is yeah, they all pretty much come to me for a lot of things. But again, we work as a team. That's the cool thing about backswing. It's not just one person. So I can get overwhelmed. I'm gonna say that I'm honest. I can get overwhelmed easily sometimes. But the girls are awesome. Everyone is super kind. A lot of us travel together. So it is kind of cool. Like I am in that pro management like position. However, like it is still fun. I feel like I'm traveling with all my friends. Not a lot has changed whenever it comes to like traveling with the girls or them like treating me differently or even treating like our owners and bosses, like everyone, I feel like just gets along really well. So that's the cool thing about backswing. And we all know that what we're doing is for a great cause. Like we're raising money for those different charities and foundations. We're also supporting those women golfers, which is just beyond anything. I know Q School's coming up for them, so shout out to everybody with Q
Right.
School. We are so excited for that. But yeah, it's just been amazing to be a part of it. So, but yeah, definitely learning a lot about women. So, but
That makes two of us.
yes,
No,
it helped.
this is what is it, episode 17, something like that. And I've just being along, I feel like I'm just in the passenger seat at this point, with all the different stories that I've heard,
Mhm.
and something that is incredible. I think this is the first time, right, that you sponsored 3 women to go try their own part at Q School this year.
Yes, yes, we did.
That's incredible. I mean, it's um, for that to even be a possibility
Mhm.
and to actually initiate it. I mean, from the top of my head, I don't think I've ever met the third person, but Erica, Nikita were both on the podcast. I forget
Yes.
her face is in my head, but I can't remember.
Madison
Right,
Burnett, is that correct?
I think so.
Yeah, yeah, it was Madison. I was like, oh gosh, I have to sit there and think. Now we feel bad. Sorry, guys. I swear I know y'all. But yeah, no, it was pretty. That's amazing, like in itself to be able to, for Backswing to be at that point to sponsor the girls. And I know just from the beginning, like what Backswing has done for all of the women pro golfers, like it's amazing, and we just support them as best we can. Especially, a lot of them are like pretty much all of our girls, they're on tour, they're traveling, they have their own stuff going on. And then here we are asking them, hey, can you take time out of your day and your busy schedule to help raise money for like whatever charity it is or foundation, whether it be raising money for someone specific. My favorite event is I go out and help raise money for a little boy named Hudson. He's been battling cancer for, man, I think this is his since COVID. Um, and so it's really cool, like to ask these girls, hey, can you come help us raise money for a little boy like that? you
Right,
know, and they right then, it just blows up. You have like 10 different girls. Heck yeah, I can be there from Florida. I can be there from New York or Arizona.
right.
And then at the same time, they're on tour. They're traveling, they're preparing for Q school, so it is really cool. Everything Backswing does and what these girls do for our company is just amazing. Man,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
it's
be Mackenzie. I'm gonna cry, but um, sorry, Mackenzie. But no, so it's awesome to be a part of it. But it's
yeah,
cool to
for
see it.
sure. It's
Gosh, dang
no,
it! 2 days
it's
in a
like
row,
it's
I've cried.
don't even get me started on the topic. I think I've since I moved here, it's been every day.
Yeah,
Um,
I feel that.
but the what with the 16, 7, whatever, how many episodes, I can't help but get emotional about it myself because it's like, it's funny. I was in San Diego for a month, and my dad was listening to a couple of the podcasts I was doing, and he was getting like tied into it. He's like, this isn't about golf. Like, this is about
Yeah.
chasing your dream. Like
Yeah.
the golf is just a bonus.
Hmm.
And he's 100% right. It's about chasing your dream and having the ability to do so. There's so
Hmm.
many people that just don't have the opportunity, or maybe even don't even think they deserve the opportunity. And you guys have created this community to, you know, you guys have given me an opportunity to follow this along. So it's
Yes,
something that I'm happy we definitely started.
for
But
sure.
so what's the biggest struggle with managing all these different pros? Is it the travel, trying to coordinate everything? Like, I struggled this week just coordinating the podcast. So I would imagine that, especially right now, since COVID, flying is, for lack of a better term, a nightmare. So what's go ahead. What's the biggest struggle?
Um, I would definitely say as of right now, and this is something like travel has been crazy. And I'm not really on travel. We've all kind of had to come in and help out again, go backswing. Everyone just helps each other out.
Yep.
And of course, our owners are amazing. But anyways, but yeah, so travel's been crazy. I'm super excited. We have some new things happening with travel that we're putting in place that is just going to make it smooth sailing. So smooth flying for better choice of words.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep.
but yeah, that's going to be super exciting. It's going to help out, I think, just the girls, me, our sales reps, like everybody. So I'm excited for that. Um, but yeah, that's definitely kind of the hardest. It's hard to, I think it's hard. We're all on different time zones. So
Mm-hmm.
like my phone is on 24/7. I hate even saying that to everybody, but my phone's on 24/7 for these girls at any point in time. Do they need something? Is there an emergency? Um, anything, a backswing emergency, anything like that. I mean,
Mm.
even outside of, I'm here to help. So, um, but yeah, so that's kind of, I love my sleep. Let me just touch on that. I love sleeping. So, I've had a few like early morning phone calls, something's going on, and I mean, heck yeah, call me for it, but
Right.
man, I have gotten really good at saving everybody's names in my phone, but there's a few that slip by. I forget to save a name. So it happened the other day. Someone called me, something's going on. They are just going. They're like, oh my gosh, Savannah, I need help, blah, blah, blah. I don't even know the situation. I think it was like I was either falling asleep or I was waking up. Couldn't even tell you, honestly. I was not fully there and they were just talking and going. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Who is this? I know that you're backswing, but I just need a name. And they were
Right.
like, oh yeah, it's so and so. And I was like, okay, cool, I can help you. So personally, the struggle for me is knowing who am I talking to. Um,
Right.
that one person that just doesn't, I forgot to save their number. I apologize ahead of time, but that's
Well,
kind
I
of the
can I can
struggle.
relate to this because I'm dealing with the same thing. I have like three or
Yeah.
four backswingers in my phone right now that I'm trying to
Yes.
schedule. You were one of them, and I was trying to schedule the person for next week. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I need to get better at saving these because
Oh yeah.
I get a different girl every week. So and now that I'm a seasoned podcaster, I'm trying to get
Yeah.
ahead of it. So it's like, um, let me think. I have Lena on next week. I have my old coach after that, my old swing coach. I have
Nice.
another coach that used to be at my college after that. So there's three that no, then I'm doing one with my teammates at some point.
All fun.
Um, yeah, that one will be chaotic. I'm not sure I'm ready for that one because they're just going to give me a bunch of
Yeah.
shit the entire episode.
Oh, I'm ready
Um,
for it. I love chaos.
so four things there's probably a fifth and a sixth that I'm forgetting.
Yeah.
There is, yeah. I got to do encore stuff with you whenever seriously, so this is funny. We were talking about this earlier because we're so close. I'm still annoyed. I could have honestly just had you sit right here.
And I was like,
But
I could have been there.
my place is in shambles. I'm moving and trying to figure out my life. But I did some encore stuff in San Diego, and I've done some filming here, and my equipment, like my gimbals and everything, will just fry out. It's too hot. So I've done a few like panoramic things randomly, like random photography things. And I think I was into my third video. This is like last weekend, and I'm just doing like a panoramic of of Lady Bird Lake.
Okay,
And that took like, I think I had it set for 5 minutes. It only lasted 3 because it's so hot. It just like it can't last. Like when I was in San Diego, I think I did a time lapse for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, no problem.
Yeah, in here.
It's too hot here. So we'll figure out something.
Yeah,
I'm not really
I'm
sure
down.
I'm not sure how we got on that topic. I'm
I'm
definitely
down
on the
for
struggle bus.
You're doing
Yeah,
good.
we'll thanks, Savannah. Thanks for the approval.
What's that like meme? It's like, you're doing great, sweetie. Keep
You're
it
doing
up.
great. You're doing great. Yeah.
That's me.
If Shelly was here, she'd say, "I love that for you."
Yeah.
All
We'll get
right.
out there.
Well, Savannah, I think we might be able to do a couple of shotgun spinner questions.
I'm ready.
Before I
I
let you
prepared
go.
for this.
Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay. So for our listeners out there that haven't watched any episodes or aren't watching this video, we have a little shotgun spinner that is basically like a Wheel of Fortune spinner. 13 different topics on it. Point us in the right direction, see where conversation's going to go. Let's give it a spin and see what it lands on. Still think it's rigged, but we'll never know. Okay, so landed on recovery. Recovery, I know Mackenzie's on this like cold plunge trend. A lot of people are. Speaking of trends, I keep going on tangents, but I can't.
Oh, go for it.
I can't stop. So everyone's posting about Taylor Swift, which is maybe just because my Instagram is 99% California and she's doing like the California portion of her tour. But okay, I'm overseeing all the Taylor Swift posts.
Yes. My face dropped whenever you said it. I was like, I can't do it. Granted, I love all the outfits. Heck yeah, go girls. Everyone is dressing amazing. I love clothes. I love fashion. So I love that for them. Yeah, I can't do it anymore. My like TikTok,
it's too
Instagram.
much.
No, I'm a country person. Like you're gonna have to come down here in my middle of nowhere town, and we're gonna take you to a country concert down in Salado. You go, Josh Abbott, Grant Gilbert. We meet all of them down there. We'll go find you a girl down there. My husband and I will wingman you. But
all right.
Sorry, I stole your tangent.
No, I'm good. I'm good with the country. I have no problem with that. So if you're gonna try to get me to wear cowboy boots, that's not happening. I can't pull them off.
It's okay. I wasn't gonna say you could. But
I'm way too California. There's no way. I do have like a Austin-ish hat. I definitely, when I moved here, I was like, I need a hat. So I did get one of those. But that and the Barbie trend, it's doing it's crazily successful right now, which is awesome.
Yes.
Like happy for you guys. But there's no way, shape, and form I'm going to go see that before it comes out on DVD or Netflix or whatever. Like maybe no. There's no scenario. I don't care how much I like this girl that wants to go see it. I'm not going to a movie theater to see it. I'm sorry. I just can't do it. Like,
Yeah.
I love Margot Robbie. I love
We
Ryan
all do.
Gosling.
We all love both of
But
them.
the amount of brain cells I've lost to Barbie post, I will never get back.
Yeah.
I
Hi
just can't.
Barbie. Hi
Yeah.
Barbie. I'm just like,
Oh my God.
yeah, no.
Everyone's just hopping on it. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's go to recovery.
I just did it. I'm like, let me hop on real quick. That was my plug. Hi, Ken.
And this video is brought to you by Barbie.
Backswing by Barbie.
Yes, I do need to start
Oh Lord.
plugging some more backswing. No, we're doing a
We're
good
doing
job.
it for you.
We're crushing it. We're crushing it. Okay,
Oh yeah.
recovery.
Sorry. Recovery, yes.
Give me some hidden gems. Like what have you discovered helps you survive all this traveling you guys do and the golfing and just life in general?
Oh man. I am like, I'm not the best at recovery, not gonna lie. Definitely travel this year, like you said, has been insane getting to and from tournaments. I just did recently, I did over 18 hours in the airport. I actually
Wow.
I got stuck in Boston and kept getting delayed. I think I was there at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, ready to go. My plane's delayed. It's delayed again. It says I'm going to take off at 1 o'clock. That gets canceled. Fun fact about the Boston airport, you can look this up. No one believed me. You cannot sleep in the airport. So
Okay.
everyone was blowing up my phone. They're like, Savannah, why aren't you just like getting a hotel? There was no hotel in Boston within 20 miles of the airport. I'm not joking. It was actually on the news. Like there were celebrities in the airport. Shoot, I didn't even know about it. I would have like went psycho and tried to find them because I don't know. But
Because why
they were in the
not? Because
airport.
you had
Yeah,
nowhere to sleep.
I had nothing to do, nowhere to sleep, nowhere to go. I'm stuck in this airport. My parents are on the phone with me, my husband, our travel people, everyone like backswing. They are like, Samantha, just go sleep, like find a hotel. I'm like, there's literally nothing. My parents then tell me, you need to get out of like, you need to get on a flight. I was like, why? They go, you can't sleep in the airport. Like everything, you can't sleep there. They will kick you out. And I was like, cool. So next thing you know, I get the last seat, last flight. I'm getting it going to Atlanta because in Atlanta you can sleep in the airport. So I literally flew from Boston to Atlanta to be able to sleep. I'm going on a tangent now, but
No,
I'll bring it back
that's
around.
no, I mean,
It was insane. So I slept in the Atlanta airport. Went and found. There was a guy who was he was in the army. I saw him. I was like, I'm gonna go. I'll be safe. I can go sleep by him. I hook my arm through my bag. I spread out on like 3 chairs. Thank goodness I'm tiny. And I just slept for a solid like 2 hours. Um, like it was disgusting. All I kept thinking is like, what is my face laying on right now? You know, people's butts have been on this chair, but I was like, I'm so tired. Um,
I honestly
it was
thought when you said
horrible.
you hooked your arm through your bag, you were gonna say you hooked your arm through the guy you saw, just like
I
attached
probably would
yourself to
have.
him.
Me being that awkward, I would have been like, is this okay for you? It's great for me.
Yeah, it's like
I'm
don't
safe.
mind me, but I'm just
Yeah.
gonna do this real quick.
Yeah, you just I don't know. I'm again, I'm the like safety freak of backswing. I'm like, what if someone steals my bag? Like I just
No,
hooked through.
I would have.
So,
You have to do that. I would have been the exact
yeah.
same way. I think
Yeah,
it's a
no.
power move though to fly somewhere just so you can sleep. Like that
Oh yeah.
that gives me like private jet vibes. Like that's
Oh
pretty
yeah.
badass.
It was insane. Backswing, there again, everyone's like, Sarah, you don't have to do that. And I was like, no, I literally do. Like, there's no hotel.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I flew, slept in Atlanta, was up. I got on a like at this point, I was at the airport at 5 o'clock the day before. I didn't get home until like 10 or 11 the next morning, and then my bag didn't fly in for another hour. So I was sleeping. Now I'm at like baggage check in Austin, like on the floor, head down, just sleeping until that little buzzer goes on telling me that my golf bag is here, you know.
Right.
Um, but yeah, that one recovery wise, there was no recovery from that. Like I just came home. I think I just immediately like went straight to bed. Um,
Yeah.
that was like the best I could do. I'm not a big, I'm horrible at recovery. Like my go-to is I come home, like my next day, I usually have to work with backswing on the pro management side or do something that way. But yeah, I just hang out. I eat a bunch of food I probably shouldn't. And my dog, who is, well, he was here. He doesn't love me enough anymore. But I just hang out with my dog. That sounds so bad. Um, I'm a
No.
very like I'm a yo-yo worker outer, if that makes sense. I know that sounds funny, but I'm so up and down with like working out and being good with like recovery and getting enough sleep. Um, I don't know,
We're
it's
just
been a
trying
little,
we're just trying our best out here. Like we're
yeah,
we're just trying to survive. I totally
yes.
get it.
Like coffee, that would be it. That's my answer. Out of
That's
this
your
entire
answer?
tangent,
Okay.
my answer is coffee.
I
So,
I'm with it. I've probably had half a gallon of coffee this morning already.
yeah.
Um, I do want to go back on travel stories. I'm not trying to one up you, but
Oh,
this
go for
year
it.
has been a struggle for travel. So I got
Yes.
this was over actually I guess this is technically last year, but it was over Christmas. So I'm
Mhm.
flying home to San Diego, and this is still so wild to me. We're basically like an hour and a half out, like not very far, and
Yeah.
the pilot over the PA system goes, "We have to stop for gas," which I
What?
think was a which I think was a cop out. Like I think
Oh, 100%.
it was actually the weather because San Diego was fogged out.
Okay.
So what they decided to do was land in Phoenix. So
Go Phoenix.
we landed in Phoenix, and then we when they were like, it'll be 30 minutes until we get back up.
Mhm.
Probably 15 minutes passes, and they go, "Just kidding, we have to deplane." Like, okay.
Awesome.
um, so I'm like panicked all of a sudden. It's not a far drive. It's probably like 5 hours, 6 hours.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Um,
Drove it
which
for
for
college.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, listeners out there might be saying, "Oh, that's far." For a golfer, 6 hours is regular.
Yeah,
Like
that's normal.
when I was making the commute to and from work, it was like 45 minutes. Like that's not a big deal to
Mhm.
golfers. Um, but anyway, my brain was like, okay, maybe I could drive home. I don't know. So I call my parents. It's freaking late. It's like 11:30 at night, maybe midnight. But my my ex at the time, well, I guess she's still technically my ex, but lives in Phoenix.
Yeah.
So I hadn't talked to her for maybe like 6 months. So I call her at, whatever time it was. It was late. I was surprised that she answered at all. Um, but she is a sweetheart. Like I can't fault
Yeah.
her on that. But I was like, hey, I got stuck in Phoenix. Do you mind if I crash on your couch for the night? Like I'll
Yeah.
try to get a flight out the next day. She was very gracious. She actually had a spare bedroom, so I was able to just. I literally like speaking of awkward. I thought it would be fine, but maybe I was just a little bit too optimistic. It was very, very awkward. Like I get in there, she gives me like the the hug where you don't want to touch somebody, like you put your arms
Yeah.
around, but you kind of
Like
like don't
spaced
even.
out.
Yeah, you don't even like your hips are like as far apart as possible.
Oh, it's the Bible
Um,
hug. She gave you the Bible hug. Keep a Bible distance.
yeah, you're giving me a lot of catchphrases I didn't know existed. The Bible hug and then hat fishing were
Yeah.
are new ones for me. Um, but yeah, it was literally like in and out as quickly as possible. Like I literally got in, she showed me to the bedroom, like wasn't any pleasantries
Yeah.
like between us at all. I went to bed, woke up, like knocked on her door and was like, "Hey, I'm leaving." Like I think it was like 6 in the morning. My flight was probably not until like 9, but I was just like, you know what? She was nice enough to let me stay here. I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, um, so that was
Oh my
awkward.
gosh.
But got a flight out the next day. Luckily, my mom is a freaking this is probably racist, but she's a ninja when it comes to traveling. My mom's Asian, so anyway. But either
Lead
way,
with that one first.
yeah, probably should have. If you can't,
Anyways.
okay. But yes, that was. It's just been. I don't get why airlines can't figure out their shit. Like it's been since COVID, they just can't figure it out. Like I've done this whole episode on AI. Like I'm not even here right now, and they can't figure out how to put people onto a plane in an efficient manner.
Yeah.
Like my last, I don't know if you watched, what episode was that? Probably 3 or 4 ago, but I was stuck between two great grandmas. Did you watch
I was
that
listening
episode?
to it. Yes, I was driving. Yes,
Yeah.
I was driving to go see my husband because he's been out of town for work, and I'm like driving, and I was like, oh, that was just horrible. It made me feel awkward. I was like, I can't imagine, and just go.
It was
I
brutal.
know those. I've been in those situations where you were just like, what the heck?
I just
let me one up you on that one. So I had a lady not too long ago. Sorry, I'm like, she goes, I sit down. Granted, there's nobody between us. And she goes, oh, and she throws a blanket on me. Like, what? Like, I am very, like, I'm an OCD person. I like knowing where things have come from. Let me just say that. Like,
yeah,
don't throw a
I was
blanket.
going to say, was it an airplane blanket or was it her own blanket?
Her own blanket. And she goes, oh, here, hun, it's cold. And just throws it over me. And I was like, huh. Like, right then, immediately, like, picked this thing off me. And I was like, and I'm like trying not to be rude, but at the same time, I'm like, all I kept thinking was like, oh God, bed bugs. I don't know. And she seemed very clean.
Yeah.
Like she seemed very clean.
What kind of age are we talking? Like
she's like mom age. Like she's like 50. She's probably 55-ish, you know?
Okay.
I think. I don't know. I have
somewhere
a
in
mom.
there.
Yeah. So like I don't know. Yeah, and I was just like, oh, and I just throw it back and I was like, I'm good, thank you. Like what the heck? And I'm just awkward anyway, so I'm just like, oh my God, like what's going on?
No, that's
and
sketch.
then yeah, next thing you know, she's telling me about her son who broke his arm in high school and she had to wipe his butt for him. And I was like, does anybody else hear this?
That's a pretty big jump.
I'm not joking. Within 5 minutes, we were talking about her wiping her son's ass. It was the weirdest thing.
Did she also be like, you should meet my son?
She tried to find out my age, yes, and I immediately was just like, I have my ring, and I was like fixing my hair on this side. She's sitting over here, you know, I'm like trying to like flash it. I'm like, catch the light, man. Like it was so awkward. And then I find out her son's like 18, and I'm like, I'm 26. Like what?
Yeah.
One, I'm married. Let me go back. Sorry to my husband. I'm like, I'm married. I have my ring on. I'm over here like flashing it. And yeah, no, it was definitely, she's trying to get me to meet her son who she's from Arizona. He's in Texas, you know. I was like, dude, Mama Bear, this is not it. Like, like I'm not meeting your son. Like, this is keep your blanket to yourself.
That whole flight, like, while I'm leaning into this conversation with these two women, I'm 100%, like, I know how this conversation ends. They're going to be like, you'd be perfect for my niece, or you'd be perfect for this person, or like somebody that there's no way, shape or form that I'm going to meet at some point. But I'm honestly shocked though, because I did give her my number. I am shocked she has not reached out. So I got a random text the other day. It was definitely spam, but I'm like, is it this person? And this goes back to me being terrible at saving numbers on my phone. But it wasn't her. But do these scammers now are getting so personal that I'm just, I don't know. I've taken a very direct route with if I take phone calls that are scammers.
Mm-hmm. What is it?
Because I just have no decorum anymore. I'm just like,
I'm with you. But have you heard the one now where they try to get you to say yes? So if you answer and they're like, hello, is this Nick? And you're like, yes. They record your yes and use it to sign you up for things. That's a new one. So
they're
just
getting
warning everyone
fancy
out
with
there.
This AI. But this was just a text message. It said, hey, Amy, let's play golf like at this time, like so the person knows I golf, which
Yeah.
is not hard to find out, I guess. But then like I think she said like loser pays for drinks. Like a very like this is kind of a conversation that I would have with somebody that I was going
Yeah.
to go play golf with. So I'm
What the
like,
heck?
okay. But then I'm like, hey, you have the wrong number, blah, blah. Then starts engaging me and is like, hey, my name is Evelyn. Nice to meet you. You're very kind that I made him. Like, she also said her assistant texted me. Like, this is okay. Putting the blame on you. Like, there's a lot.
Yeah.
I have all this sales training. So I'm like, I know these tactics. Like, come on,
Yeah.
let's be better. But I just stopped responding. I was like, you're clearly trying to get some information out of me.
Yeah.
But why over text message? And why you got to bring golf into this? Like, that's just too close to the chest. It's not needed. But I probably get a spam call like every other day. And every single one is like, you answer it, you don't hear anything but background noise, like office noise for 10 seconds or so. And then someone's like, oh shit, somebody actually answered the phone. Like that's clearly what's happening.
100%. And they're always have you ever noticed they always come from your hometown or like somewhere close to your hometown?
Yeah. It's always the zip code or the area code that I'm from. Yeah.
I just think worst case scenario, I'm like, who's in the hospital? Like, what's going on? Then I answer and they're like, is this so and so? Or my favorite, they always ask if I'm my mom now. And I'm like, I don't even have the same last name anymore. Like, what? No, this is not my mom. Like, I don't know what to say.
No, there's I'm a huge Seinfeld fan. So there's an episode in Seinfeld where he gets a scam call. Not teleprompter. Telemarketer, thank you. That calls him. He's like, and he answers. He's like, you caught me at a bad time. Do you mind if I call you? Call your house at later tonight? And they go like, oh, we don't usually do that. It's like, oh, you don't want people calling you at your home? Now you know how I feel, and just hangs up the phone. Like that's more or less along the lines of what I've gone into. Except I've actually, oh, man. I've had somebody call me on like a Saturday in the middle of the day and they go through their whole spiel and I'm like, dude, it's the weekend in the middle of the day. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is not, you guys gotta be a little bit better about this. And I just hung up. Like,
I had check in on those guys.
I had another person call me at dinner time, like 7 o'clock at night. On a Saturday or a Sunday. I'm like, who? Again, I've been able to put on this entire episode through AI. I'm actually on the golf course right now, and you have no idea. But we can't figure this stuff out.
I am too. I'm golfing in this 100 and something degree heat right now.
I am golfing later today. I don't know why.
Oh, bless you.
I'm gonna die
for that. I'm like, no, I can't do it.
Savanah, I think we've reached the allotment of our time today. Thanks so much for taking the time with us.
Yes.
We will have to do some encore stuff. Maybe we can get Shelby to be like the announcer while we're playing, and we can maybe we'll get Evelyn in on it, and we'll play for drinks.
There you go. Yes, Evelyn and who was it? Amy. We'll find out who Amy is and ask if she wants to come play too.
I deleted the number, so Evelyn's gonna have to reach out again.
It's a good name though.
Yeah, Evelyn was actually my grandmother's name, so even more so, I'm like, this is messed up. For our listeners out there, thanks for tuning in this week. Go ahead and check us out on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, wherever the hell else we're available. I'm losing track nowadays. But we will be back with, who do we have next week? Lena Schaefer? I think it's Lena. You thought the text messages you sent were long. She's been blowing me up ever since. She's excited, which is awesome. I'm excited for her to experience this whole thing. But we'll be back next week. Thanks so much, Savanah. We'll see you guys on the next episode.
Thank you.
This has been Off the Collar, powered Powered by Backswing Golf Events.